Hey guys, Gary here. Welcome to my channel, Just Talk. And today I'm going to be setting up these two devices, the G3 Flex camera and the USW Flex switch. But before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please click on that subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can receive notifications of content that I release. And if you're interested in following me on Instagram, you can find me at Gary with 2 R's, S. Studer. So let's talk about these two devices. The first one being the USW Flex, which is a layer 2 managed switch with one port that is 802.3 AT/BT and 4 ports that are 802-3 AF. Now, this particular switch you can buy from Ubiquiti for around $99, which is a really good deal. Because for what I need it for, which is going to be set up or configured here in the office, but end up in the garage, this particular switch works out well. So, of course, you get the instructions, the mounting bracket, and of course the hardware to mount it wherever you want to. And in this case, again, it'll be in the garage. But the reason I chose this is because it's power over Ethernet, which for me, I like to use because I don't like to use the PoE injectors. So again, you got the one input jack that is 802.3/ATAB/BT, and then you have 4 that are the 802.3 AF. Then what I'm going to be connecting to that is the G3 Flex camera. Now this little guy you can get from Ubiquiti for about $79. It is 1080p, day or night recording, 25 frames per second, and you could pretty much mount this right side up against the wall, outside, upside down. In my case, I'm just going to mount it to the wall like this. So let's go ahead and get this thing connected up here, and then we'll move over to the computer and get it configured and set up. So let me go ahead and just plug this in. And then we are going to, now with this particular camera, it comes with a variety of mounting pieces, and I just took off the one that I will be using, but you just plug it into the back of the camera like so, and then we're going to plug it in to port 1, and we'll go ahead and remove the plastic piece. We'll just leave it sitting up there, and we'll move over to the computer and get this thing set up. Okay, now that we're back at the computer and we have the two devices connected, let's go ahead and jump into the network controller and get these devices configured. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and click into the network controller, which is on version 6.2.26. And I'm going to go ahead and click on devices and change it over to the icons, because I like working with the icons better than I do the list. So this is how I have it set up now. So we got the USW Flex connected to the USW Pro 24 Gen 2 switch, and what we need to do is go ahead and open that up, and we have it connected to port 1. So let me go ahead and enable the port, and we'll go ahead and keep it in the trunk profile, and we'll go ahead and give it a name. We'll call this the GA Fram USW Flex -01, and we'll go ahead and save. And what we'll need to do is wait for this to go ahead and show up so we can adopt it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so now that the USW Flex showed up, we can now adopt it. So let's go ahead and click on adopt, and we'll sit here, and hopefully this won't take too long. But if it does, then it does. Okay, as you can see by the green light, the switch is now adopted. And over here you can see that in port 2, we have the G3 Flex camera connected to it. So we're going to have to go ahead and enable this port now. So let me go here to ports, and we're going to put this in the camera ports. So right here, and we're going to name this one #01. We'll go ahead and save this, and we'll wait for this port to go ahead and initialize, which I believe is running on 10100 megabits per second. So that's fine. Okay, now that we have the ports enabled and in the correct VLAN, let's hop on over to the Unified Protect controller and see if we can add the G3 Flex camera. So there it is. We're going to add it, click add device, and hopefully it will show up. And here it comes. So currently what I have on the Unified Protect controller is my G4 doorbell and my 3 G4 Pro cameras. And let's go ahead and open this up and see what we have. This wave. Oh, there I am. So let's go ahead and see what we can configure on this particular camera, because I don't think with the G3s you can do the smart detection. So I want to put this on 1080p. Oh, you could take a snap, you could turn on and off the microphone. Let's see what that just makes it bigger, which we can go ahead and get rid of that. Then you have on the cogwheel, you have microphone, brightness, contrast, hue, saturation, sharpness. I cannot read that because my eyesight is bad. Densol, I guess that is, or Dinos. AE mode, orientation, infrared, LDC, and HDR. Alright, so we'll go ahead and click done on that and see what we have over here. So here's everything about the camera. You have the name, you have the camera status, camera model, firmware, FPS, bitrate, host, MAC address, which by the way, I'm going to put a filter on the port so that only this camera can connect to it. You have a link state, which is 100 megabits per second. Uptime is 14 minutes, connection time 2 minutes, and last motion was 2 minutes. And let's do another motion, see what happens. Oh, there it goes, less than a minute. Under the general tab, of course you can name it, so we'll just name it a FAM G3 Flex 01. You have the microphone, you have the status light, which you can turn on and off, but if you prefer to see the blue light, then I would suggest you leave it on. Overlay information, I like to have the time and the camera name. Don't care about the logo or the bit rate, so we'll apply those changes. And if we go over to recording, when to record, always, never, motion events, I'm just going to say always. Recording quality, right now it's 20 frames per second. Image quality is 100%. Motion events, minimum seconds of motion to trigger event is 1 second. Seconds to record before motion is 2 seconds. And seconds to record after motion is 2 seconds. And then you have enhance and stable under motion algorithm, which means if a spider walks across the camera head, then it'll trigger it. If you put it on stable, I think it's not as, it doesn't trigger it as much. As far as zones go, you got motion zone. We can add a motion zone, which I'm not going to add in here because, you know, this is going in the garage. I'm just setting it up in the office for now. But usually what you do is you have these little dots right here, and you just put it where you want the camera to record when motion is detected. We'll go ahead and cancel there because I don't want to do that right now. And then you have privacy zones. So if you add a privacy zone, this is where you can say, hey, if it's over here, I don't want you to record. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. We'll say, don't record the window, it's private. There we go. All right, let's see what happens. Let's save it. Oh, and it kind of blues it out or blacks it out. I think it blacks it out. But so now anything that's over here, if there's motion, it will not record. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that and delete the zone. And we'll go ahead and discard changes. Let's go ahead and get rid of that privacy zone real quick. Hold on a second. Delete zone, save. All right, there we go. Now it's back. Okay, and then you have manage, the manage tab. You have unmanage, which if you're going to put this on a different controller like the UDM Pro, I'm currently using the UNVR to manage all my cameras. You might want to unmanage it, or else you'll run into some errors. So if you plan on switching between controllers, just unmanage it first, let it unmanage, and then you shouldn't have an issue. Your real-time streaming protocol, if you want to stream this to a particular URL, you can do that, and you can disable your microphone. So basically that's the setup of the G3 Flex camera. And like I said before, I had these already set up. And if you want to know what these tabs are, we'll go over here, and actually I want to go ahead and add another view, or add this camera to my view, which is this one. So let's go ahead and we'll drop that one here. We'll do the doorbell as the main one, and then we'll do we'll do the pros. All right, here we'll save this, and there you go. So whenever you want to watch one, you just click on it and bam, it expands it. Oh, there's somebody walking. So then the next tab is events. So what I would recommend if you set up alerts is, if you're doing yard work, turn the alerts off, because you will get tens upon tens of emails coming to your inbox. Time lapse, so if you want to see something that may have triggered the night before or earlier in the day, you can come over here and kind of just stream through your time lapse to see what has happened. Over here you have roles, so you can add people to administer your cameras. You have activity, which will show you any activity that's going on. And then of course you have your settings. So here you can set up your alerts. And like I said, let's go ahead and edit this and see what it looks like. So here's what your alert setup looks like. So you can select all your cameras, and since we have the new G Flex, let's go ahead and set this up. There's no smart detection, so I don't need to select those. If you want it to send you alerts during certain times of the day, you can do that here by just clicking and then just kind of drag it, you know, up or down, sideways, whatever. We don't need to do that, so I'll just delete that. And then whatever changes you make, you just click save, and there you have it. Now, if you want to change the IP address of your cameras, you can do it one of two ways. You can either go directly to the IP address via your web browser, or you can go into clients on the actual controller and change the IP address there, which I'll go ahead and do right now. Let's see, configuration, network, and we're going to go ahead and change this to, actually, you know what, I think I'm going to leave it on 14. I believe that's the next one in line of my static IP, so I'll go ahead and leave that on 14. But I think if you come up here and you do a 192.168.40.14, it'll take you to your camera, and here you can log in. The username would be the UBNT, I believe. So the username would be UBNT, and where you find your password is on your controller. So if you go on your controller, go down to settings, advanced, here's where your password is. I'm not going to reveal mine, but you would just copy and paste it here, and that'll allow you to get into your camera, and you can configure your camera's IP address. So with that being said, I think we have everything set up. We have our new flex switch, and we have our new camera added. So on that note, the next thing, before I go, I'm gonna be setting this up in my garage, and I'm hoping to get a couple of those floodlights that Ubiquiti came out with. I know they're sold out right now, so once I get some of those, I'm going to connect those to the flex switch we just installed. So if we click on over to my topology, what we have left for my first home network setup is the USW Flex Mini and the redundant power supply. And when I get the, hopefully I'll get the floodlights that Ubiquiti is sold out of right now, and I'll add those to my topology also. So if you like the video, please don't forget to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you can be notified when I release new content. So on that note, until next video, deuces.